Morning! It is really nice already out this morning. I think it's about 9 and it is already 50 degrees. It's going to be 70 today. It is Super Bowl Sunday and we're hopefully going to get the barn door hung up today. I'm really excited. Those look alright. You can tell everybody's really noisy. Hey, good morning, Duke. Good morning. Alright, buddy.
What? Oh, I do see.
Yeah, that's good. I'm really asleep. Let's go ahead and walk.
I'll go get, I might as well go get a couple bags.
Change of plans. The brand new calf that was born yesterday, the mom died overnight or early this morning. Looked like it had just happened when we had walked outside. So, go out and cover up the dead cow, because we'll have to rent a piece of heavy equipment to bury her. Not really sure what happened. She was, in last week's video I talked about, I was actually looking for her because I talked about how she's always like kind of a poorly cow, and we don't really know if it's just the stress of childbirth killed her, if she had to bleed internally, or you know, what happened really. So I don't know if you guys could hear, and I won't know until I edit this, I was talking about it, but Jeremy had walked out with me this morning to work on the door. These friends. And I looked out there and saw the cow. It's definitely dead. Dead cows kind of have this weird stretched out look about them. And we rode the tractor out just to be sure, which now I need to go back out there and get. And yeah, rescued the baby calf, which was a little bit scary. Always is when you're trying to rescue a new calf, or a calf that mom's not taking care of, or that's sick or injured for whatever reason. My father-in-law is on the way with some milk replacer for this dude. See him. Here he is. Hey, buddy. He's not gonna like me because I'm not feeding him yet. We're gonna go in here and see him. So just have him in our old chicken coop. Hey, buddy. It's been a long morning, hasn't it? Haven't totally decided on a name yet. Since it's Super Bowl Sunday and we live in Arkansas, he may be Chief. We'll see. So we're gonna get him a bottle, get him some milk. It's beautiful. I thought it was a girl yesterday, but definitely a boy. It sucks, but it's just part of farming. It stinks that his mama's not going to get to take care of him. He's a nice looking calf. Got kicked in the face a couple of times earlier, so just really want to make sure that his jaw's okay. Seems fine. to be so tired. I mean, he's maybe 24 hours old. So, which made it easier to catch, a little bit easier to catch him. We have a mom that just lost her calf and she was pretty unhappy because he was hollering. But it's funny when the big cows die, we always cover them up until we can get some kind of backhoe in to bury them, just to keep, we have neighbors, it just doesn't look really good. But it's kind of like a cow funeral. They all kind of come up and want to see what you're doing, and they want to inspect that cow, and as we bury this cow, they're going to all stand and watch us. It's kind of what they do. So change of plans for today. Still going to work on the door for sure, but I'll try to bring you guys out with me as I take care of this little guy. And we haven't decided if I'm going to keep him and raise him, or if we'll just sell him as a bottle baby. Kind of see how he does. This is a pretty big chicken coop, and he should be warm and pretty dry in here for the next couple of days until he gets used to eating the bottle, and then I'll turn him out. We'll either make a little pen for him or something so he can be outside. Alright, let's get you some water, buddy. Okay, so the boys on a wild hair have decided they want to learn how to process this cow out. Not completely, because they can't completely process it out in the field with the equipment that they have. So they are packing up the truck right now to ride out. There's nothing wrong with this cow. There's no infection. She probably either bled out or had a heart attack, more than likely. So they're getting ready to do that. I'm gonna take the GoPro out with me and just kind of see how that goes. I don't know how much of that footage I'm gonna show you because I don't really know what it's gonna be like. They're doing this more or less just to learn, use the meat, don't use the meat, just to kind of see how it goes. So it should be an interesting experience. That's kind of how these days are really weird and emotionally heavy, just because it's just hard. I mean, animals are not people, but there's time and money, and this animal's been on our property since 2015. She's had calves every year. She's not ever been the greatest cow. She's a little bit slow, but we've put time and effort and lots of things into her, and she was only 7-8 years old, so she had a long life to go. The little calf is still a little droopy. He's not taking a bottle, so hoping that he's gonna get 5 or 6 hours of sleep and then he'll be better. He's already looking a little bit perkier. So yeah, I'll try to keep you guys updated. decision to bring him out here. He's still really weak. He ate about a pint of milk just a few minutes ago. But I want him to get out here in the sun. And I'm hoping Duke's licked all over him. This will be kind of better for him to be out here, to be with another animal. He's not quite out of the woods yet, so we'll see. I'd like for him to be able to stand up by himself, which he doesn't want to do. He doesn't even try to stand up at this point, but he's pretty exhausted just getting him out of the field, so we'll see. Okay, so it's the next day, obviously. Well, not obviously to you guys, other than I have on different clothes. Got the cow buried last night, which was great. I'm sure you've seen the parts where the boys processed it out in the field. That was interesting, learned a lot. Don't know if we'll use the meat or not, but I thought I'd give you guys a glimpse at Chief. He's doing much better today. And I'm sorry the audio is probably bad because the wind's really blowing. There's a rainstorm coming in. But he's so super cute. Chief, what are you doing, bud? So I was pretty concerned about him yesterday. He could not hold himself up at all. Couldn't stand up independently until late last night. He really wore himself out, and I wish that I'd had the GoPro when we went and rescued him. I really want him to walk around, so I'm not going to go over there because he's just kind of exploring. He's not going to be comfortable with me for probably another week to where he'll come to me. But he's eaten a whole bottle. I just got home from work and he's eaten an entire bottle, and he stood up to get the bottle. So it's the first time that he stood up by himself. What do you think, buddy? And he had not moved all day long. I know that because he had rolled in his poo. And he was in the exact same spot that I left him this morning. Weren't you, buddy? So I think he's doing well. I don't know if you can see, he's still trembling a little bit. He's really tired. So when we rescued him yesterday, Jeremy's truck has a tonneau cover on the back, and we put him in the back, and he was pressing the lid up with his legs. So he really just wore himself completely out in that process. And so he's still really tired. He's also probably not eating in the same way that he was eating with mom. So just like any baby, he's probably every 2 hours gonna eat just a little bit. And with me, he kind of has to eat a lot at once. And his face is just dirty. And you guys can't see as well because of the light, but he's sticky from the formula. And once he gets, the problem is it's gonna start raining tonight. I may come out here this evening when I feed him and kind of wash his face off a little bit. But yeah, this is good. He stood up by himself. Really pleased. Was really kind of concerned with him yesterday as he was very pale. He just was not very bright-eyed, but I think he was just exhausted. So doing well. Haven't decided if we're going to keep him. Definitely going to call him Chief while he's here because the Chiefs won the Super Bowl on the day that you got rescued. Yeah. He's Hereford, so he's a little slow. Herefords are just like kind of have a slower, softer mentality. The big concern right now is he is up, he likes this right now. And this is mostly because of this right here. There's no visual block for him, and he's seen these other animals, and that's where he wants to be. The problem is when it starts raining, he's a calf, and he's not going to think, oh, I need to get out of the rain, because cows are not that way. But since he's so little and he doesn't have mama to keep him warm, I need him to be on this side, kind of over here, so that he will stay dry. Because this little spot, I mean, even the back of the coop will all stay really dry. But he probably will not move. And I kind of thought if I put up a visual block right here that he wouldn't go over it, but he did. Because he's a calf. So I may not be able to keep him dry in here. But we're going to do our best. What do you think, Chief? And he's got his poop all over him, and if you've ever, this is the like colostrum and formula poop, and it stinks so bad compared to like normal calf manure. We did have him out with Duke yesterday, and that was really helpful. Duke, since he wasn't able to move, Duke was able to kind of lick on him and stimulate him and kind of hang out with him and provide him some company, which long term, he won't stay in here. We'll get him somewhere where he can be around other animals or bring something over here to hang out with him. I would have loved to leave him in the backyard with Duke, but Duke got a little possessive of him last night and nipped at Jeremy, and so that's not really an option. I'm not willing to take the risk that Duke might think something's wrong with him and not let us. I don't really know why he did that last night. It could have been a lot of the commotion, but we'll see. We got the cow buried last night, which was huge. What do you think, Chief? If you've ever had a dead cow, they're only in the state of Arkansas. There's only like 2 ways that you can legally dispose of them, and one of those ways is to bury it, or you can burn it, or you can, if you have like, we have a wildlife refuge, and they would have come and gotten it in theory because it hadn't had antibiotics, but the easiest thing for us to do is just dig a hole and bury it. So my Austin brother-in-law brought us a mini X last night at about 7 in the middle of the Super Bowl, so we missed the whole Super Bowl. And we're big sports fans, but it was alright, and we dug the hole and the cow's buried, and really going in today, that's a lot easier. I could focus on this calf. We could get some rest. We're both extremely exhausted. And that's just kind of the reality. Like, we're homesteaders, and we run, and farmers, and however you want to define us, we run, you know, a medium, not even a medium size, a very small herd of cattle, and it's just part of it. Yesterday was really tiring. It gets better, I think, the longer you do this, and that you have a plan. So like when we looked up yesterday morning, and it's like, that's definitely a dead cow, we start making kind of a list in our head of things to do, and that's really helpful because then you're focused on, okay, we've got to walk out there, number one, and make sure it's dead. If it's not dead and it's just sick, then we have to make a decision. Do we call the vet? Do we put the animal down? If we're gonna treat it medically, how do we get it up to the house so that it can be in a small place? So those kind of things, and then kind of determining what next steps are for us. So us knowing we have to dig a hole, knowing that we had to catch this calf. And that was kind of an adventure. He's only a day old, so that made it easier. Had he been a few weeks old, we probably would have had to have one of our friends who ropes come in and rope it. Like, there was probably little opportunity for us to actually catch it. We may have been able to run it down the chute, but our chute's kind of not operating right now, and so it would have been hard for us to run the cows in to catch it. We have a mama that just lost a calf. You saw that video last week, and she fought us. So that was also hard. So she didn't like that it was bellowing, and she was trying to kind of check it out and see what was going on. And so typically, mom's dead, none of the other cows are going to fight you to take this orphan calf. She of course decided she would, and that made it harder. And then we didn't think about it. We knew he was too lively to put, when I rescued Princess, I rescued her in the bucket of the tractor, but she had never had milk. She had never, she was literally just dropped on the ground. Maybe within a few hours I was picking her up, and so she stayed in the bucket, but then I got up to the house and she jumped out and almost killed her with the tractor. It was very terrifying, but it all worked out. I'm gonna be really upset if he decides to lay back down in his poop, because he's gross and he's already covered in it, and I think he's just sniffing and snorting. So we knew that wasn't gonna work. He is got to be over 100 pounds. I cannot lift him by myself, and I can carry probably 60 to 70 pounds of animal by myself, at least for a few feet, and I can't lift him up off the ground. I'm not probably as strong as I should be, but it is what it is. I manage just fine. I can lift the goats. I can put them into my car if I need to. But we put him in the back of the truck, and what we didn't anticipate was we drove the truck out, and the cows associate a truck or any kind of vehicle with food, because that's how we grain them. And so they were all in our business, and then he was taller than the truck bed, and so he kept lifting the tonneau cover. And then we were afraid he's gonna jump out. This is very exciting. I'm sorry I didn't have the GoPro and get to entertain you guys with all that, but he's just staring at me. He's so cute. But yeah, so it's a total process, and that's kind of the thing I think mental health wise that kind of saves you in that moment is just, I'm gonna get out here, I'm gonna kind of ascertain what needs to happen, and then I'm just gonna make a list. And then all day it was, somebody went and, or my father-in-law went and got milk replacer and came to the house. Then it was, we have to try to feed him. Where are we gonna keep him? Right now is kind of the worst time to have a bottle calf for me. Summer is usually the perfect time. Because all my girls are about to kid, so he cannot go in with my goats where the stalls are, where the barn is, which is a perfect place for him. I also have 2 bottle calves from last year, one of which we're keeping, who would steal his bottle because I love gobbles, but she will eat a bottle right now, even though she hasn't had one in more than 6 months. It's just not a good time of year to put him. He can't be in with these babies. He can't be over here with these guys. I can't really put him in with the pigs because he wouldn't have any shelter. And so the next option was to put him in the backyard with the dog, which is what I wanted to do once he was trained to a bottle. So you never want him in a big space if you don't know anything about bottle calves when you're trying to train them to a bottle, because they'll just run away from you. And trying to catch 120 pounds of calf every morning before you go to work is probably not something that you want to do. So that's something I want to do. It's hard enough to get them started on the bottle. So my hope was once he was established, we would just let him out in the backyard and let him roam and be with Duke and be a friend. And that may still be possible when he's big enough to kind of come to me himself. We may try that. Duke is very protective, was like really protective of me yesterday because he couldn't move. And I think once he's up and playful, that may work out a little bit better, and that may be an option for a while. I'm also really picky and don't like animals on my porch that will poop on it. And so I don't know. I don't have a place for him. The next option, which is what Jeremy wants to do, is just sell him. Is get him probably through this bag of milk replacer and just let him go as a bottle calf. That's probably the right thing to do, and that's probably it may be what we do if he does really well. If he had been a heifer, I would have said no, because we were gonna keep him. So if he had been a girl, if you're not up on your cow lingo, here we go, mini lesson. Cow is actually means a bovine, female bovine that has had a calf. That's a cow. A heifer is a female bovine who has not had a calf. A steer is a castrated male bovine, and a bull is an intact male bovine. So they're not all cows, just so you know. I hope you've learned something today. So anyway, he'll stay in this chicken coop unless I decide it's supposed to snow, rain and snow. Rain starting tonight, rain all day tomorrow, turn into snow tomorrow night, snow Wednesday into Thursday. He may have to go be in the barn with the girls. He just may have to. Like, this coop is really dry in this corner, but it's open, and I don't mind if he's cold. I don't want him to be wet and cold. That's pneumonia, and I'm not interested in the emotional toll of getting this thing back on its feet and then it dying. It just sucks. Like, days like this weekend, it just sucks. Like, it's not the same emotion as like losing your dog or losing, if I were to lose one of these goats. I'm usually a hot mess when that happens, but it's not fun. You know, there's a lot of effort put into these animals, and it just kind of stinks. So this is real. It's just kind of the reality of it. If you are looking to get into this, animals die. Like, even if they live to their lifespan, they're still like none of us are always going to be alive. Nobody's immortal. So it's just something to think about and be aware of. And the very first animal we lost on this farm was a chicken. It was not a big deal. Got ate by a skunk. It was gross. But I lost a goat the very first year that we had goats, and that was extremely traumatizing. And my poor brother-in-law was here, and I was hysterical and a hot mess. And it's easier now because there's that element of like knowing what you're doing, knowing you've done everything, and sometimes you just can't save animals. Sometimes bad things just happen, and it does get easier, but it's never easy, if that makes sense. So hope you guys have enjoyed a little peek into maybe the harder parts of being a homesteader, farmer, whatever you guys want to call us. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough day, but we have a brand new baby calf. We're going to do everything we can to keep him alive and at least probably get him a new and better home. Maybe he'll go be somebody's show calf. He's beautiful. He's probably 3/4 Hereford and looks completely Hereford, so he would make a great 4-H project for somebody. Yeah, so that's probably, he's gonna lay down in his poop, guys. There is poop right there. Let's see if we can get him to move. Buddy, let's not lay right there. Let's go over here. Let's not go over there because you suck. I know. You've had a bottle. Hey. Oh, you stink so bad. Yes, you do. Oh, not going down. Look, even right there would be okay. So it's probably the easier solution is to just put some hay and straw down where he has pooped. So if he does decide to go over there, he won't lay. It won't get on him. He sees the goats right now, so he's here and there. It's hard because it's a lot brighter, but they're out here and he can kind of see them, and he's just looking for some company. He's not hungry. He's too little to really be hungry after a full bottle. That's a little update on Chief, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this little peek into the realities of farm life, the kind of bad pieces of it, but this is how you get bottle calves, in one way that you get them at least. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave me a comment, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.